Alright, welcome back to the SuperCoach Snuff channel. In this video we're going to do the round 11 preview. Um, just a quick one today, trying to squeeze it in between lessons. So we might just skip straight to the most popular trade options. So trade out number one, and rightly so, Tyrell Sloan. So he's made a fair jump in cash and is now on the slide back. So if you've got him, he is number one trade out priority. Will Warbrick at number two, so I guess along the lines of Sloan, Warbrick's peaked in price, has the most cash on his head. So if you've still got him, Taruva, Alamotti, I'd trade Warbrick first just to get that extra bit of value. Number three, the Hammer, so maybe because he's on the buy and then perhaps looking at playing Origin, people are looking to get off the Hammer. Um, he's probably not my first pick, but if you haven't got Sloan and Warbrick and you want to downgrade in centre wing, maybe Hammer is the way to do that. Jackson forward, so a lot of people trading out because he'll miss the next 2 weeks. If you can afford to hold, I'd hold. If you need to obviously find money or a space for some play you want to bring in, and forward is your only option, I think that's fine. Alamotti, we've talked about this before. I don't think he's got that much value if you trade him out. Um, in saying that, I'm probably perhaps looking at trading next week or the week after for an extra number in round 13. But yeah, I guess it's all team dependent. But I think you can hold Alamotti if you need to. Katoa, so a lot of people upgrading in 5'8", trying to get the second gun. A few might be downgrading to bring in Oluwapu and make some money that way. Um, yeah, I'm going to hold. I don't think he's an urgent trade out. Cam Murray, I would agree with. You can see he's dropped 53k this week. There's someone drilling outside. Apologies for that. Um, yeah, so he's sliding in cash. He's going to play Origin. He might get some reduced minutes during that time. So I think a good trade out option. Taruva, we've talked about in the same sort of vein. Excuse me, trying to get through this too quickly. Yeah, in the same sort of vein as Alamotti Warbrick. You know, he's probably the last one on the list to trade out for that reason. Christian Welsh, so not quite sure what's going on here. People might be trying to upgrade or look for a more origin relevant option. So, that's okay. Didn't realise he was that popular already owned. And Josh Schuster, so people getting off because of the injury. Um, if you can afford to hold him a bit like Jackson Ford, that's fine. But hopefully he plays around 13 and makes some more cash in that time for us. The trade-ins this week. So the number one option, Valence Tafare. People going early on this pick, obviously bottom dollar cheapy with the scoring upside he has. It's very tempting. Um, I'm going to wait and see how the team pans out next week for the Dolphins before I make that call. Ideally, wait till round 13 when he plays his third game. Ruben Garrick, so yeah, I think he's bottomed out in price after his 80, so get him into the side as soon as you can. Great buy coverage from Manly. Could even play a bit of fullback once Turbo's in the Origin team. You'd expect. Tohu Harris, so a pretty popular, dual position front row eligible option. He's been in my team for a while because of his big minutes and ability to just do all the work. So good trade in. Max Fierney, so he's probably my number one target this week. Not the biggest and best job security or upside in scoring, but will start making us money this week. So we should play around 13. I can't see the Dragons doing too many changes before then, but you never really know what's going on there. Dream Bullos, so yep, it's probably not too late to get on if you missed out last week. You obviously missed out on $82,000 in cash, but he's still got plenty more to make. And after round 13, the Tigers do have good buy coverage. Alex Johnston, so a few people seeing that he's back in the try scorers list and getting on. I think, if you haven't got him, I'd rather get Ruben Garrick for 50 grand less. Um, or even wait for next week and get Lemuelu in at another 20 grand. South just seem to play a lot on the right hand edge as well this season, so that's why obviously Campbell Graham's going so good. And with so many mouths to feed there in the South's back line, there's only so much to go around, I think. Billy Smith, so maybe going a week early, I'd sit and wait. If he has another good game this week, he could be a nice little downgrade option next week. Dylan Brown, yes, get him in if you can. He's excellent for bye coverage, but also excellent for just scoring outside of that time as well. Jack DeBellin, so I guess, sort of in the same boat as Tohu Harris and Corey Horsburgh as well, I guess we can talk about as well. Horsburgh's probably a better chance of origin than DeBellin, so I think those numbers are in the right order, but I would go for Tohu first before either of those two. So I guess, oh, sorry, I forgot the captains. I always forget the captains. So we'll have a quick look at the captaincy choices. Might start with the top 10% because you get quite a few of the dead rookie type play or the dead account players included. And as you can see, Nico Hines super popular. The Sharks have the day game against Manly, whereas Penrith are playing at night against the Roosters. So I can definitely see the merit in that, and that's the way I've gone. I should just sort of buy captaincy option. So Cleary and Latrell, both sort of popular pod options. And then I guess in the super pod sort of category, Walker for feeder. He's done well enough. That could be a good shout. And Dylan Brown at 1% is a bit of a super pod captain option. In terms of vice captain, Reece Walsh and Latrell Mitchell, both playing fullback, both capable of big scores, makes sense. Dylan Brown, Payne Haas, Cody Walker. So I didn't think Para was playing that early, but I can't see it here, can I? That's okay. They must be playing early enough if he's getting involved. Um, yeah. So after that, a few sort of widely spread options, but I guess that usually is the case with the VC. It's a good chance to springboard a few people if you get the right pick. Alright, so I guess on to my team for this week, and um, it's basically going to be the same thing I talked about in the preview. There's no real surprises here this week. So Tyrell Sloan out, Max Fairney in, and I think I even sort of used this team when I was discussing my buy planning strategy. So yeah, so the plan is, I guess, over the next sort of few weeks to try and hold a few trades where possible. And we'll just quickly rearrange the team. So I have Harry Grant as the vice captain option, playing in the first game. It's the best sort of opportunity. And I'm going to stick with Hines as captain, sort of go with the crowd again on this one. But then we can just do some swaps and changes. Nikora plays last. He can go on the bench. Actually, no, Ford's out, so he can go on the bench. Who plays last out of these guys? I think Tohu and Payne both play early, so Tarpany's on the bench. Cleary's on the bench. Buller is going to be the sub. Well, I guess probably should swap with him just in case Turbos are laid out. Who knows what could happen? And then it's just the decision on the last centre wing spot. So obviously Lemuelu is out this week with the bye. So the options are Taruva against the Roosters Friday night. Alamotti against the Warriors. And the Warriors have been pretty good defensively. And Fiona against the Cowboys up at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. So yeah, it's really a bit of a toss up at this point. So I have had Fiona sitting there just because I think the Cowboys are the weakest opposition. Um, but yeah, I really can't decide. You know what? people are getting off him. I'm gonna go Alamotti. This could be the game. Um, yeah. Hopefully the Bulldogs bounce back from their poor effort last week. They were coming off a 5-day turnaround, so that didn't help by any means, but they should be, I think, well improved. So just a bit of loyalty there for the Docs. I'll go Alamotti. All right, I guess in terms of the other teams and setups and that, again, it's all pretty much the same as I talked about in the round review. So go back, have a look at those. Um, have a look also at the stock market video. I've gone a bit more analysis of a wider range of players and my thoughts on them. And as I said, I also brought out a buy planning sort of discussion video. So if you're wondering about buy planning and how that should work, I've shared my thoughts on that too. But as always, if you've got any other thoughts or ideas, feel free to comment um, in the comment section below the video. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. And other than that, I'll catch you in the next one.